and if you see the title of the video, it's called Philosophy and Other Things with Victor. Here I am with Brock, which his gamer tab is Drippy Bolts, and I'm also here with CSAGS1234. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Oh. Yeah, this is a live stream. Yeah, if you didn't, it is.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so I'm gonna get my philosophy book. Give me a second. I might be a little glitchy. Well, because you're being annoying, so you deserve this. Ah, see, small dog. Where is it? Oh yeah, I'm just gonna talk to Brock about it anyway. Let me get my philosophy book.
It kind of looks like the... What is it called?
The ancient Greeks, the Pantheon.
No, it's like the French thing. It's called...
Notre Dame?
No.
Oh.
It's, Aviles... It's like a French name. I don't know what it is.
Okay. So,
It's in French.
So when we dive into philosophy, so to be able to talk about philosophy, we need to understand the hardcore definition of philosophy. Now, this book is the philosophy book, Big Idea Simply Explained, by DK. So, yeah, great. Is that? Yeah, a lot of contributions. It's a really good book. I got it at Barnes and Nobles, so I'll be reading from this. Okay. Let me see. Let me get the title. Okay, I'm gonna try to find a good part. Some people, however, found that the traditional religious explanations inaccurate, and they began to search for answers based on reason rather than convention or religion. This shift marked the birth of philosophy. So basically, philosophy, as we know, is basically we believe in science. A lot of people believe in science, but philosophy is experience. I feel like philosophy is a science within itself, but it's explaining the moral side of how the world works in the human mind. Because there's a study of psychology, but philosophy, I feel like it should be considered its own science, if it's considered a science even at all. So we talk about philosophy, and there's lots of concepts in philosophy, like for example, earth knowledge is but a shadow, or life which examined is not worth living, so and so. So there's lots of things, and one of the things that I want to talk about is good and evil. Now, good and evil are two fundamental things when it comes to ethics and morals, because every single decision we make is based on a good or bad. Yeah, good and evil,
because it's always a good decision or a bad decision.
Or if we put it into more
complex.
Yeah, not complex. I say simpler terms. We'll say positive,
So, simpler terms.
And negative. But the thing is that there's certain decisions. Let me give you an example. So let's do a very, very bad decision with a really, really good decision.
Okay, so either smoke a cigarette or turn it down and return and report.
But I don't think that technically. Okay, here's the thing.
It's controversial.
The thing is that for one person, the good decision would be smoke the cigarette. For another person, it's to get rid of the cigarette.
So what Victor's trying to say, if you guys don't understand him, some people don't. I'm sorry, but Victor, you know what I mean. What he's trying to say is each person thinks differently on
morals.
Things.
Basically, so some people believe that there's a fundamental idea of good and bad, and in a lot of things there is an idea of good and bad. Like, for example, right? If I give you the plain equation of is killing somebody bad, that is necessarily, to the majority of the population, we're just going to go by the majority, that would be considered negative. Now, what if we put it into the stand, you have to kill that person to save 10 lives? Is one soul worth 10 other people? I mean, that's the thing that we get into ethics. The thing about philosophy is that we make examples to be able to explain our points. So we use these weird and absurd stories to be able to explain simple concepts. So we basically we break it down to be able to understand and grasp these concepts.
YouTube video or live stream.
So basically, what I'm trying to say is that good and bad, there's fundamental things that everybody agrees are good and bad, but there's other things that we don't necessarily know are good and bad. It just varies from different people. For example, is I don't know, is playing video games good? I mean, some people say that it's bad because, oh well, you get addicted to it and everything. To other people, it's like it's good. It's good. Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's your it's your general belief, because here's the thing. There's let me give you an example. Okay. So what's something we can agree that is total. Exactly, that's a type of philosophy. Now, some people might say there is fundamental good and bad. And here's the thing. The thing about philosophy is that it's often...
The younger kids watching, if there is younger kids watching, explain what philosophy is, the definition of it.
Okay, Alexa. Stop. No, it's not. It's not. I don't want to get sponsorship. Okay, you ready? Okay, I'm gonna look up the definition of philosophy. Alexa, what is the definition of philosophy?
Philosophy is usually defined as the rational investigation of the truths and principles of being, knowledge, or conduct. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for philosophy.
Now, I want to hear the definition of religion. Alexa, what is the definition of religion?
Religion is usually defined as a set of beliefs concerning the cause, nature, and purpose of the universe, especially when considered as the creation of a superhuman agency or agencies, usually involving devotion and ritual.
Okay, Alexa, stop. So, did you hear that? Did you hear that, guys? What's the definition of philosophy? I'll do it again. I'll do it again. Alexa, what is it? Okay. Stop. So basically, as you can see, religion and philosophy is very, very similar. And in fact, you could actually get often confused with philosophy and religion. In fact, there's actually some religions that are based on philosophies. Let me give you an example. If you look at the Hellenistic era, so the thing is that the Hellenistic religion basically stated that it's a better chance to actually believe in God than to be an atheist and not accept God. Because here's the thing. If let's say right, okay, let's say that there was no God, like that the concept of God is just this big radical fake thing, right? And you don't believe in God. You're right, and therefore you win in the end, okay? So you could draw out a map, you could draw out a sheet or whatever of every single possibility. Now there's two possibilities in this chart. God doesn't exist. Another possibility where God does exist, right? So let's say that there's two types of people, okay? There's two types of people out there. There's the people who believe in God,
Johnny,
and there's people who don't believe in God.
Johnny!
Bruh, actually, I'm gonna mute you. Okay, so we have the people who don't believe in God and the people who do believe in God, right? Now I'm actually gonna write this down because you need to be able to write the thing that you're talking about, okay? So let me just find some paper. Give me a sec. Okay, I'm almost done. Okay. Got my paper. So I'm gonna write this concept down. Okay. Now, you guys who are watching the stream, you could do this also. So before we write down the chart, we need to find out all the possibilities. So we have two possibilities for God. Now there's either God exists, or God isn't real. God isn't real. Okay?
So you're saying that one's right?
So no, I'm not necessarily saying one's right. I'm just saying hypothetically.
Are you picking a side?
I'm not picking a side. I'm gonna stay neutral for now, okay? Now we have the two types of people. Let's say there's two types of people, okay? Let's just forget that religion itself exists, and let's just say that you either believe in God or you don't, okay? So we have two possibilities for people, okay? For people. You're a believer of God, or you don't believe in God, or you're basically an atheist. So I'm just gonna put atheist down. That's left to right. Okay, now we need to write down the chart. Okay. So let's say that in this hypothetical situation, if you don't believe in God, you automatically get tormented and punished when you die. Okay. So there's 4 different possibilities. Okay. So we have.
But there's nothing wrong with not believing God.
Yeah.
Or believing God.
Yeah, but just we're saying this in this situation. Although I personally believe in God, that's my opinion. I'm just showing you the philosophy of the Hellenistic era. So we have the believer of
and the
God,
non-believer. No, just put non-believer and believer.
Non-believer. Okay, and then we have God exists, and then God doesn't exist.
Sorry guys, my nose is a little congested. So if you
okay. So if God exists and you're a believer of God, you're going to heaven. So let's just say smiley face. God exists and you're a non-believer, that's a sad face. God doesn't exist and you're a believer of God.
Once again, guys, this is just an opinion.
This is basically just the facts. This is not an opinion. This is just showing the facts. This is from a neutral standpoint, not from a biased standpoint.
The title of this video will be Philosophy Facts.
It's philosophy with Victor. Yeah, philosophy and other things with Victor.
With Craft King and Drippy Bolts.
So if God doesn't exist and you're a believer of God, no harm is done to you. Technically, okay, you just disappeared. That's cool. That's it. So technically that's a win. God doesn't exist and you're a non-believer, well, you're right, so you still win. So the way to be able to win in every single situation is to believe in God. Because there's even let's say that the possibility of God is 0.00001%, a minuscule amount of the percentage of God existing. There's always still a percentage. Every single thing, there's a certain percentage of any single one event happening. You might think.
Talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. General, I'm talking to everybody on the stream.
You're not talking to me.
Nothing is impossible. Practically, even if
what flavor is? Is that it?
So I put in the chart. So basically, in every possibility that you believe in God, it's a win.
Okay, can I have an announcement real fast?
Yeah, I'll take a break right now. I think people's minds are exploding.
Yeah. Hold on. Warning: this video contains facts, and we will not. Hopefully, will not take offense to anybody. We're sorry. Continue, Victor.
Okay, so basically, we have in every possibility you believe in God.
Start where we ended off first.
So yeah, like I said.
just considered for God.
So in your chart, you should have God exists, believer, God, smiley face. God exists, you're a non-believer, sad face. God doesn't exist, believer of God, happy face, because you're dead, but, you know, nothing happens. God doesn't exist, you're a non-believer, you win because you're right. Now, if you want to count how many people are right, non-believer, there's a 50-50 chance.
Go ahead and if you have a I hope you guys have families. Go around your family and see how much people believe.
In God, yeah.
Go
Now,
ahead. We'll give you a few seconds. Pause the video if you need.
yeah,
Okay,
pause it.
that should be enough.
Okay, so basically I'm saying that the Hellenistic belief is that you should believe in God, because you have a higher chance of living a good life
Better
and
life.
yeah, a better life than if you were to not believe in God. Now the Hellenistic belief was that you should believe in multiple gods because that increases your chances. So now let's add some more factors into play. Yes. Okay, so let's say
If you guys are here and you guys are wondering, can I believe and not believe? No. You have to choose one, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, you can't be lukewarm.
You can't
Basically
be on
that's
both sides.
yeah, that's what it says in my Bible personally. But basically, now let's add some more factors. So let's add other gods into play. So instead of two possibilities, we multiply it. Let's say wait, okay. So let's say we have God A and God B, okay? God A and God B, okay? Now, there's a 50-50 chance that each of them exists. So, let me put an arrow here. You can't really see it. But, exists, doesn't exist. So that means overall, let me see. You have to put this in a chart. Yeah, let me see. Wait, so there's a 50-50. So there's a 1 in 4 chance that they exist, which is 25%, which is actually not a very high chance. So basically, the Hellenistics
She said what?
because if
I'll
you
take
believe,
one.
if you were to believe in one God, if you were just to believe in God A, there's only a 25% chance of you being right. Now, if you believe in both gods, there's a 50% chance. 50% is way higher.
I don't
That's
know what she
double.
said.
That's double the amount.
Nobody heard you.
I think we're gonna go into an intermission.
We're gonna go into an intermission about buildings, our
Yeah.
buildings, and maybe some taxes and stuff, government.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe
know.
talk about some government. So let's talk about politics today.
Yes, no,
Not
intermission.
politics. Intermission, yeah.
No, but we're
Intermission.
gonna be talking about popular things that are happening right now. So go ahead and go on the news right now, Victor,
Okay.
and like on Google, news on Google, and
Okay, so here's some news from Alexa. Alexa, tell me the news.
Here's your news
Can you hear that?
from History.com.
Hello, history fans, and welcome to This Day in History, brought to you by Quip. Makers of the Quip electric toothbrush make good habits simple with a new brush head, floss refill, and toothpaste delivered every 3 months. Sets start at $25. Get your first refill free at getquip.com/thisday. Here's what happened on March 22nd. With movie
That's
theaters
today.
shuttered across the country, we look back to this day in 1895, when workers leaving the Lumiere factory made its debut. You may never have heard of it, but it's widely considered to be the world's first
maybe because
motion
you're
picture.
a
Produced
millennial.
by a pair of French brothers who patented the world's first machine that could both record and project movies to an audience. Movies made on Thomas Edison's earlier machine, the kinetoscope, could only be viewed by one person at a time. Also on this day in history, in 1933, President Roosevelt legalized the sale of beer and wine after nearly 15 years of prohibition. And in 1972, the Equal Rights Amendment, guaranteeing sexual equality under the Constitution, passed Congress. Surprising fact, Hawaii was the first state to ratify what would have been the 27th Amendment, followed by some 30 other states within a year. But the ERA ultimately failed to achieve ratification by the 38 states needed to become law. That's all for today in history. Tune in tomorrow to learn a little bit more about the world around you, and of course, have a great day.
From CBC
So-
News.
I have some stuff to talk about.
Oh, Alexa, pause.
So, the coronavirus has been coming around, and
Yeah.
we're probably going to have one of those stupid tabs at the bottom of the screen because
Quarantine, yeah.
of YouTube.
Yeah.
And they demonetize everybody who's talking about this, I guess.
Of
For some
course.
reason.
I have a conspiracy theory, of course. Because, of course.
Well, there's people everywhere, all around the world, no matter what. Everybody's getting positive, and nobody can do anything. The only person that can help us is the person above us.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to step up and not fear. This is a virus, and we know it needs to be taken seriously, but you still need to you can
Not freak
still
out,
do whatever do what you need to do. Like, don't cancel plans and stuff. I know everybody's scared of it for some reason. The
Because
virus,
it's
it'll
a
go away
virus.
soon.
Yeah. It'll just be a fad.
Well, that's what we hope for, and yes. You guys have any celebrity news? You guys heard of, like, I've heard,
Tom
this
Hanks.
was a while ago, but
That's not cool.
Tom Hanks and his wife have the coronavirus, sadly.
Kind of messed up. Not gonna lie.
So yeah. But I've heard in the past, you guys probably know this since I'm kind of late on it, but I heard Billie Eilish was Drake was hitting up Billie Eilish.
Oh, this is like really old news, yeah.
Yes, we haven't talked about this in a while though.
Yeah, no.
So it's pretty important. So, do you have any news, Victor?
So I'm
Or
actually
rumors?
it's not news. It's my conspiracy theory. So personally, I have two conspiracy theories that are very similar, but they both basically state the same thing, but the reason why it was done is different. So my first conspiracy theory that I first came up with is that coronavirus is actually man-made by either most likely the U.S. government.
Or the bat, or bats. Maybe someone put
Or-
something in the bat,
and the bats,
and the
yeah,
bat spread it on.
So I'm
Because someone
thinking.
ate a bat. So this is how the coronavirus started, if someone didn't know. Sorry for interrupting you, Victor, but, everybody should know this, but just in case you don't. Someone decided, it's pretty disgusting, but someone decided to eat bat stew for some reason. And that's how the coronavirus started. And the coronavirus is a virus that's been going on for decades, centuries, or years.
Or it's existed, but like it actually reached. I think it's actually been like an outbreak before, but it was contained.
Yes. But it's still gone.
Yeah, still going, bro.
Cool. Everybody, it's been going on for years, and they know a lot about it, and it's being controlled. So I wouldn't be worried.
So this is my conspiracy theory. So basically, I think it was made by the U.S. government to keep Donald Trump in power. Now hear me out. It sounds absolutely absurd, but I want you to look at the facts, okay? Now, coronavirus, although it's existed since November in China, it first entered America in January. Now, the thing about this is that 2020 is actually election year. Now, if you look at all the candidates for Democrats, they're all at least considered boomers or older. They're very old. Like Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, they're all very old people. Now, coronavirus affects the older
Don't
generation.
Just be respectful, man.
And the very younger people and people with health issues. Now, as you know, some people have already theories that Joe Biden actually has dementia, which a lot of the facts are there, and that's why you shouldn't vote Joe Biden. But that's a different story. So I'm thinking that Donald Trump has.
That's just a theory, a game.
I'm thinking that the Trump administration has created the coronavirus to be able to keep him in power. Like, well, how is this going to keep him in power? Well, there's two ways that this could end out. Now, the first way,
they can control it.
So
they know how to cure it and everything. They have it under control, but they want to scare everybody. So
hear me out, okay? So this is just my opinion. Don't take this with a grain of salt, okay? So I'm thinking that the Trump administration, they have this all worked out, and basically two things can happen. Either A, they somehow have a miracle and they create the cure or some vaccine at least to treat the coronavirus, and they completely got the coronavirus under control. Okay, now we don't have to worry about it. Now guess what? That makes Trump look amazing. That makes Donald Trump look like an amazing president, because yes, he's done a lot of great things, but people overlook it because of how racist and how sexist he is to a lot of Americans. Now, the other possibility is that the coronavirus gets worse, which honestly, that's the route that America's going right now. Now, once coronavirus gets worse, I've seen this video personally of people fighting over toilet paper. Sounds silly, right? Now, what's gonna happen is there's gonna be even crazier people. People gonna bring weapons and they're gonna get armed and they're gonna shoot each other. And what's gonna happen is that the Trump administration and Trump himself is gonna have to declare martial law. Now, basically, what martial law is that Donald Trump gets these powers that he normally doesn't have to be able to protect the country. Now, guess who's a famous person who actually used this method to become a dictator? Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler, he wasn't president, but he was prime minister, and they were in such a time and such depth and everything that what Hitler did was that he declared martial law in his country to take control. Now, this sounds very similar to coronavirus, and at the route we're going, I think the Trump administration is trying to declare martial law. Now, you know what happens during martial law? No elections. And it's 2020, it's election year. So that means the Democrats can't get into power. So Donald Trump's trying to keep this virus to stay as long as possible. Long as humanly possible, to keep him in power and to keep the Democrats out. Now, is this a good thing? That depends who you are. That depends whether you're a Trump supporter, you're a Democrat, you're independent, you couldn't care less about politics. Yes, what's the question?
He didn't choose where it started.
Now, of course, there's a lot of people who are saying, no. Oh my god, just please stop, Johnny. You're actually very much. Okay, so then here's my other theory. And basically, everything that I said about the other theory can kind of apply to this theory, but it's a little different. So, I'm still saying that it was created by the Trump administration, but who it was targeted for, I think it's targeted at the boomers. Now really think of who's most at risk. It's really silly. Okay, you can laugh. It's boomers, right? Now, hear me out, okay? Number one, who is most affected by coronavirus?
Boomers.
Boomers, yes, boomers. So if this is man-made, right? There's diseases that affect middle-aged people who normally don't get sick. Now, in this case, actually, it's affecting the older and the younger people. Now, here's the thing. To be able to understand why this theory would make sense, we need to understand the goals of both political parties, okay? So the Democrats, they're more of a socialistic, more of liberalism, basically. And basically what that means is, I'm gonna put it in a sense. Imagine we're talking about school money, right? You have to pay for school lunch, right? Democrats say, oh, we should give the school money away so people can get lunch for free, right? We should just give the money away. While the Republicans say, oh, well, they should be able to earn it because there's rich kids in the school and they're able to afford lunch, but there's poor kids. But they're saying, oh, well, they could, yeah, they should be like, oh, well, you know, they should just
We should
pay
still
for it
care
like
for them.
themselves. So basically, I'm
They,
more of a
they have plenty of money.
yeah. So don't all of viewers don't like judge me in any way. Oh, hi, Cedric Stanton. Nice hi. Sorry, a little off topic. Anyways, so personally, I'm not a Republican. I'm a Democrat. Don't judge me. I won't judge anybody else who's a Republican or who's independent, who's not really into politics. But basically, as I'm saying about, wait, yeah, Trump. Okay, so boomers. So Democrats, they care for healthcare. They want to get free healthcare. And healthcare, the people who need healthcare
It's
the
unique.
most, the people who need healthcare the most are the boomers, the veterans. They have PTSD. They're still struggling from World War II and Vietnam War. They're really old, yeah. Now, here's the thing. Republicans, they don't care about that stuff. They care about letting people have the ability to have guns, protecting this country, so-and-so, making this country, yeah, it's very, you could say very Western style. I mean, that's what some people say. But you could say that's very old-fashioned conservative. Now, the thing is, guess what political party Trump belongs to? Republican. He's a Republican, guys. And Republicans, they have this, the Republican Party obviously hates the Democratic Party, and it would make sense that coronavirus is targeting these Democrats. So what they're trying to do, they're trying to get rid of the boomer population so that they don't have to worry about taking care of the boomers. And guess what? Guess what that money's going to be spent on? Building the wall. Because Donald Trump is... Yes? Yeah, but I didn't mean it in that way, like...
Sadly, not sadfully.
Sadly, that's not a word. So basically, yeah, he kind of went a little off topic, but like I'm saying, that's why I'm personally a Democrat. You can disagree with me all you want, but personally, I'm not a Trump fan.
But you still respect him.
I still respect him. He's done a lot of great things. I have to be honest. Sadly, he's done a lot of great
Whoever
things.
makes it to a president has to have done something awesome.
Or not necessarily. That just
Not
means
awesome,
that the,
like something good.
or at least something to, I don't know, convince the public. So like I
Could
said,
happen.
take these conspiracy theories with a grain of salt. Don't be like and share
Don't,
this over here.
don't. We're not making stories. We're changing lives.
Yeah, we're not gonna be like, oh well, this is the truth, you know, and everything. I'm just saying this is my opinion, but it's not necessarily the facts. These are just my conclusions I got after seeing the facts. So that's just my opinion.
Sorry, we're talking about some random stuff. That's cool. I like it. I like talking about this stuff. Chinese shush.
Wait, is that who Cedric Stanton is? Oh.
Cendric. Cool.
Yeah, one time got like what, like I think like 50 views or something. on the Raising Dion and Stranger Things are somehow connected. I think people love me doing conspiracy theories. That's like the most viewed video I actually got, which I was kind of happy
The
about.
most one is my sister.
Or something like that. Yeah, I don't know, but like I think they're probably gonna delay Stranger Things actually, because
Yeah.
the coronavirus, which kind of sucks. I love that show. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah. Advertising. So yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, the stream is actually going pretty well. 36 minutes in. Wow.
Oh, I think you should end it right there.
End it now?
Yeah, and then we'll make another one.
Okay, end it.
Alright, see you guys.
See you guys next time. Bye. No, don't do that. I didn't